recording. Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I'm Sid Part 2. Joining me today is Milan Jeptic1992 and Esplin227, aka Milan and Alec. Say hello, guys.
Hey, good to be here.
I am the power.
That's not how it's said.
Yes.
Okay, anyway. So we were just having a little disagreement thing, and this is kind of a weird video. I could have sworn Milan said to watch Alien instead of Aliens, and it turns out that we're supposed to be talking about Aliens, but we're still going to talk about it. I remember it vaguely enough that it will be okay.
Hey, wait a second, Milan.
But
wait, you haven't seen... Who here hasn't ever seen any of them? Either Alien or Aliens. Okay,
no, I've seen both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, so like, we're having a disagreement, because today we're going to review 3 movies. Event Horizon, Sunshine, and Aliens. But here's the thing. I was saying, it's the same fucking movie, and I really started to get tired of watching people die off one by one on spaceships. That gets old really fast.
At least well, let's start with Sunshine. I gotta say,
let's not start with Sunshine. Sunshine was okay. Sunshine was awesome. Okay.
It was.
I'm not saying the other ones weren't, but Sunshine is significant. Like in plot, it is different. It's different.
No, I'm not saying that they're like not the same movie, or that they're the same movie with the exact same plot. I'm just mean like it's the same plot device.
Yeah,
these people are stuck on a spaceship.
Definitely with Event Horizon and the Alien series, it's kind of hard to argue with that.
but like even let's start with Sunshine. Fuck it. I mean, I was really enjoying it, and like it felt like really high stakes. Up until random crazy guy got on the ship, and I don't know how that happened, and it didn't make any sense, and it kind of ruined the rest of the movie for me. But I did like that Captain America and Scarecrow settled their differences and worked together to save the world.
Totally. But the thing with the Sunshine movie, I love it so much because it's actually a science fiction movie. It's heavy on the science. It doesn't have the stereotypical God, you shouldn't get in the place of God, because all the miracles, all the cinematography, all the parts of wonder in this film are focused on science and like the wonders of the natural world, and it is essentially the corrupting influence of fanaticism that ultimately wishes to doom the world to witness apocalypse. That is the real problem in this film. And just well, it is because like
I see where you're coming from. I think that's like an oversimplification of the themes. It's kind of
course. I'm just trying to get like a brief outline going, but basically the thing what I really love about the movie, partly because it's fucking shot beautifully. It's a gorgeous film, but I love space travel has never been more fucking terrifying. Because really, if you think about what space travel is, you're floating basically in a toaster surrounded by death. No, you are. No,
I just want to establish that not 30 seconds ago you were praising this movie for making science beautiful, and then you say something like that.
No, but it is like literally, if you take into consideration all the dangers of space travel and everything that can go wrong, and that literally if the tiniest bit of if a tiniest of pressure leaks happens, and if you're not prepared, terrible consequences will be wrought upon you. And that's the thing, when the scary guy, like the way he's introduced is ridiculous. He's basically bench pressing in the sun, in the sunlight, in the sunshine, and it's just kind of weird.
And the way they shoot him just got so annoying.
Yeah, but the thing about it is the main terror of the mission is seeing how incredibly dangerous space is, and it's basically all the tiny little things that can go wrong. And yeah, go ahead.
To me, the guy, it's sort of revealing a little bit, but it doesn't. I guess it doesn't really matter. The thing that made it worse for you is actually something that more of a reminder of. To me, he was simply an extension of the dangers that can happen in space, because you end up focusing so much on the physical things that the things that can happen with physics that can screw you up, that can make the entire mission a failure. And basically, it was just a reminder of there is one more danger. It's the fact that you're putting a person very far from any real. Basically, everyone there is at the mercy of everyone else, because if, like you said, there's so many dangers. If even one mistake happens, then
my problem wasn't so much with the guy who was going around killing people, even though it made no sense that he should live that long. My problem was that you didn't need him when you have another character who you've already established has become mentally unbalanced. Because the guy is from the first mission to the sun, and apparently Superman didn't save them this time. The guy's from the first mission to the sun, and he gets, he kills off his crew, and by the logic of the movie, spends 7 years running around his spaceship, which, I mean, I guess there was the oxygen and the food for going crazier and crazier the entire time, manages to sneak aboard the other ship and then sabotage it from within. Like, why would you go to all that lengths of just completely unbelievable crap when you have a guy who feels guilt-ridden over killing the captain and fucking up the mission? Why would you not use him and have him do all the crazy person stuff? It just makes more sense that way.
Not really, because it doesn't.
It was 7 years?
Yeah, he was supposed to be out in space in that ship for 7 years.
This doesn't sound right. I thought it was closer.
I thought it was
like 6.5, maybe? I don't know.
I thought it was closer to a year. I didn't know it was 7.
No, it's a very long time.
How did he survive that amount of time?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the thing about this film.
But Milan, you're praising it for being a scientifically accurate movie. That's not.
Let me get my words out. Yes, it has some really wonderful science fiction elements with the dangers of space travel, all that stuff is true. But yes, I do agree with the guy. When he came up, I'm like, it just turned into a haunted house slasher movie in space. And that's when I think the movie kind of suffers from it. It kind of becomes this, oh, it's a spooky skinless guy in space hurting people. What happened to the dangers of... What?
Well, how to me, that was supposed to be one of the dangers. It's that you can lose your mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing,
the
though.
Human element.
I agree with you, Alec. I agree with you. The dangers of, the
it wouldn't
social...
make sense if the guy felt guilty and then systematically started killing off the rest of the crew. In an hour. It's like, I made a mistake. Everyone dies!
Well, no, it wasn't within an hour.
There a day or two. I don't see him...
No, they were not. They were up there for much longer than a day. It was supposed to be a very long trip. I mean, the idea was that the craft couldn't travel much faster than anything we have now, so it's still covering that 93 million mile distance. But no, they say that he's sleeping and going into severe depression for weeks before the people start dying. And it's such a stupid thing. If you're going to have someone go mentally unstable in the movie anyway, why not carry that out farther? Instead of making him depressed, make him say, I screwed up, I'm so sorry, I'm going to make it up to you, I can never make it up to you, guys, you'll never forgive me, and have him go off in that direction.
Well, I can sort of see... Okay,
I disagree completely.
I'm having trouble seeing that happening. I'm having
trouble
because they're okay.
Personally, I think just the whole serial killer in space thing is just maybe they just put it in there to make it a little bit more sellable as a concept. But I personally think that some producer came along. We gotta have a bad guy killing them off in space. And the first half of the movie...
And they talk just like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think, like, the first half of the movie, it's literally the crazy guy. There was nothing hinted towards that. It's sure, maybe...
See, I don't agree that he's the... Okay, I'll give you that the 7-year thing. I did not know that he was in space that long. That seems like an unnecessary... Like, it's unnecessary to make him up there that long. They could have... It really doesn't take as long for the human... What can make someone crazy like that is that type of isolation. I thought that he made a mistake similar to... Maybe not similar to, but a mistake much worse than the other guy made. And, got some of his crew killed, or basically realized that he ruined the mission.
No, what happened is he was the captain of the first mission, and he was a very religious man, and he did this to save the planet. But somewhere along the line, he lost his mind and thought that because God had chosen that this was the time to die, he wasn't going to let man stand in the way of that choice. And he went crazy and killed all his crew, thus by extension dooming the human race. Until we get Icarus 2, which goes out there, finds the distress beacon for Icarus 1, goes and flies up to it. They airlock with it, and while they're exploring the ship, there's an explosion within the airlock, which we find out must have been caused by the original captain. And that's how, like, he gets onto the ship. But, like, I don't know, that part's just so implausible, because I'm like, how would no one be watching the airlock?
Well, I mean...
Yeah.
Normally you don't expect space murderers. I would think maybe because it's so unprecedented.
Fair enough.
Like...
Fair enough. No,
should they have had guns too? Like, what? Why would you have? Like, no, we haven't discovered aliens. There's no reason for them to be.
No, but they got cameras in the airlock, and they're in the monitoring room watching everything happen. And this is like a naked man just running around with like the worst case of sunburn ever.
No, yeah, I understand. I wish there were a few tweaks when it comes to him, but I still understand. Why did it? If they were going to make it the other guy that went crazy, in my opinion, there should have been some edits to the script to where they were out there a lot longer.
I agree with that. He shouldn't have gone into depression so much as gone crazy in another way because of his failure.
Mm-mm. Yeah, but that's the thing. I think personally, the whole serial killer in space was just kind of written in to appease the producers. But that's the thing.
I don't know about that. It wasn't this. Did you guys see this in the movies?
No.
Because it did come to the movies recently, kinda, but this was a movie that was made actually a little while ago. It was like a Sundance movie, wasn't it, or something like that? Like, it wasn't a main Hollywood, like, Steven Spielberg didn't make this. This wasn't like an American-made, I thought this was Canadian-made or something.
It doesn't matter.
Well, it's got Chris Hemsworth in it, and he loves his indie pictures.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was... You know those pictures that are not technically indie pictures, but they're like semi-indie, like they may not...
They're indie pictures with a budget, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't see, like, the producers running in at the last second on an indie picture and be like, no, we gotta have a serial killer. I think maybe it was poor planning in terms of that aspect. Like, 7 years, I find it hard to believe. Unless the original mission was meant to be 7 years. There and back.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, like, how long would it take...
This is, I think, what happened. Basically, I think originally the idea for the genesis of this movie was there's a serial killer in space and they gotta reignite the sun. And then, as they kept writing, building upon the script, they found these, like, really interesting ideas of, like, the dangers of space travel, all that shit. And then, but they still had the core idea of the serial killer in space, and just by the time the script was finished and they had all the actors and the budget and all that stuff lined up, they said, oh, fuck, we got this really cool idea. but we still didn't have enough time to edit out or iron out this whole serial killer in space thing. Just have it like a burnt naked guy running around. Nobody would notice.
No one will notice the burnt naked man. The secret to stealth and getting around. If you ever need to be a spy, everybody write this down. Just get naked, cover yourself in kerosene, and
light up.
Right? It'll work, I promise. You have my word.
As a respectable gentleman,
it's such a distracting, like, I find it so weird. We all love the stuff with, you know, the space travel and how dangerous it is. We all are really interested in that, but we just can't stop thinking about this naked man in space and trying to justify it or say what the problems are with it. When it's such a useless, like, honestly, they go out of their way, literally, go out of their way to introduce a naked serial killer in space.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I personally thought that the killer was going to be this. The guy who, basically, in the beginning of the film, you're introduced to this Indian psychiatric doctor, and when he's first.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting because I thought he was going to be the villain because he's spending far too much time in the sunshine. And it's just like he's just sitting there, but it's halfway through the movie. He's really badly sunburned, and he's like picking skin off his face. And he's wearing sunglasses indoors in the dark. I'm like, this is getting really weird.
Yeah, no, I think that again, to me, it had an undertone of how do I put it? Not forgetting the human element. I think that's actually kind of what Sunshine was about. Because, yeah, it was about the perils of space, but the perils of space aren't just without. It made on more than one character, they made a note to remind you that you got to remember the human element can, no matter how much well you calculate, you're dealing with other people, and, you know, that's how he was coping with the situation. Because a lot of times psychiatrists are more screwed up than any of us. Like,
I know, I mean, I've watched the entire series of Frasier. That guy has issues.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's like that would have been a more interesting turn. I don't know. You could have honestly combined the guy that screwed up the mission, the psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever he is, and the psycho killer in space into one character, and had it be a much more interesting piece.
Well,
yeah, you could.
Then you wouldn't have the whole. Though that could be my personal ideology getting in, where the guy is like, you know, God decided for the human race to die.
Yeah, religious fanatic, yeah.
Yeah, the religious fanaticism. Though I might want, I'll admit that it might be a better movie if you didn't have that, but I'm glad they showed that. Because we're sort of dealing with that right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, God.
Yeah, that's true.
Part of God's plan, because now they can't deny it's happening anymore. So it's like, oh God, no matter what we do, it never fucking stops.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I'm not sure if it was a critique against religious fanaticism, because, I mean, he talks about waiting for God and, like, it's my God, not your God, but there's no, like, real... He doesn't, like, try to quote scripture or justify
he's not specific.
He's obviously just supposed to be a deranged human being.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Like, that's the thing is, like, I can see where, I can definitely understand where both of you are coming from with the whole, oh, he's supposed to be a religious nut job, and I think he's just supposed to be a nut job that's picked religion to jump onto.
Yeah, religious context, yeah. No, I get it.
Because it's like, it's not... the fact that it's religion that turned him to this, supposedly, has, like, nothing to do with what the rest of the plot of the movie is about, so...
Yeah,
yeah. I like Sunshine. Despite what we're saying, watch Sunshine. It is a good movie. I enjoy it, and it's shot up there with favorite movies in terms of, like, space of mine, just because it does explore a thing that none of the other ones really explore. The fragility of the situation. I mean, Apollo 13 explored it, but that's because that shit really happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little different in the way it dealt with it. You kind of know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious as to like one of the things about who designed the ship, so that the room that supplies all the oxygen has the potential to get lit on fire. I really do not understand.
No, it's not just one room that supplies oxygen. They have like many like little rooms that supply oxygen.
It just looked like it was supposed to be one little garden area.
I don't think you can make anything completely fireproof. Like,
well, no, it's just like the way it gets lit on fire just kind of cracked me up, because it's like one of the communication satellites got hit and started reflecting sunlight into the window in the room, and I'm like, that seems odd.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
it was just one of those things. I'm like, who designed this ship? They did a very poor job.
The thing about this, the whole ship design, it's just so cool. The whole look of this film is amazing. It's just this slow giant shield, using both a shield from the heat of the sun plus a solar sail, and that's fucking brilliant. But the thing with that is, they explain the way the way the naked guy is introduced. I know we're back on him again, but he's just like,
see, yeah, he's such a problem for the movie.
Yeah, but he's a funny problem. When you first see him, like he's basically doing push-ups in the sunlight. I'm like, okay.
And I really hated the way they shot that. Yeah. That annoyed the hell out of me.
I can explain that. Basically, there's this explanation that the closer you get to the sun, the more bendy-wendy, timey-wimey the gravity of the sun affects.
You don't watch Doctor Who. You're not allowed to quote it.
Okay. The time and space is getting slowly, is kind of weirdly becoming distorted by the gravitational pull of the sun. That's how they.
Well, I don't remember. What do you mean by how they filmed that? I don't quite
like
remember.
Whenever they shot like the scenes with naked dude,
yeah.
He was always like slightly distorted and glowy, and like there'd be lens flare, and it's just like and Milan's argument doesn't work at all, because it's like it's only when he's on screen.
Well, no, I think they just did that. I thought that was like a metaphor for how crazy this dude is. I thought it was a metaphor for distortion in general. Like
Yeah, I don't care about its metaphorical value. It was just really annoying. I just did not like the way they shot it.
It was distracting. It was a little much, but I don't mind them if they had done it to where it only looks like that. Like they could have cleverly done it to where there is actually always sunlight beaming through at that time or something.
That would have been fine.
That would have been fine, and that's the only time you see him in those sort of situations. But it's weird how he's always just freaking glowing. Or maybe he was radioactive, because there really was no.
That's the thing. It's weird because he's all like, it's strange because the time, like at the end of the film. The gravitational pull of the sun makes everything go crazy. That's why they get the whole inception. That's why the ship kind of becomes inception physics at the very end. But that's the thing. Like, if this guy has basically for 7 years been bombing around this fucking spaceship, then like hold on, and he's been bathing in the sun. Shouldn't he be fucking dead of skin cancer? How the fuck is he? How the fuck did he get super strength?
Right, and like that's the thing is like. Even if it was only a year in space, like Alec originally thought, wouldn't his bone density be severely affected to the point where he probably couldn't even do a push-up, much less pick a guy up by the neck?
No, their ship had artificial gravity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I
they
still
were
thought
walking through that whole movie. They weren't just like floating through that whole movie. Their ship was spinning on an axis, so they...
Oh no, I thought artificial gravity just will only do so much.
That I don't know.
I've heard people talk about artificial gravity before, and like it'll help slow down the process, but it probably there's probably no artificial gravitational system that can counteract not being on Earth just because we have no way of replicating the mass that we're used to. So maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if with momentum you can actually, because how well does it actually? How do I say it? Gravity. How different is gravity and momentum? You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because if really it's just the force pulling you. Because I guess there is a difference between momentum sort of pushing you and gravity pulling you, but
yeah,
I don't really know.
I don't know. It just seems so weird. Like he should just be literally falling apart to me, in every sense of the word, and in every sense of the term. I mean, and he's just doing push-ups and picking up Cillian Murphy and I don't know.
Well, again, the gravity thing. If there's no artificial gravity, he can't do push-ups just in print.
Just in general.
So I'm assuming there has to be artificial gravity good enough that you can work out. Otherwise, like there's a.
Now I just am reminded of that clip from Avatar where the guy's like pumping just ridiculously sized weights, and he's like, the artificial gravity makes you, or the lower gravity makes you soft. I really like that scene. I don't care what anyone says.
That is a cool scene.
She just gets in a giant robot and is like, peace. I always wanted to walk away from a conversation like that.
Who doesn't? But anyway, that's the thing. This film the first half of this film is just really great, incredibly suspenseful space exploration drama. You know, to reignite the sun because the star is dying, and basically they have to let loose some sort of thermonuclear device inside the sun to reignite it, or some tigglety-pigglety quantum bullshit to get the sun running again. But basically, the second half of this film is basically Jason Voorhees with the body of Freddy Krueger, but in space. And
yeah.
But I like the end, because at the end, like, I mean, the guy's motherfucking, they rip off his fucking skin off, like the skin of his arm. They rip him off. They rip the skin off, and if it's that fucking fragile, how does this? Anyway, fuck the scary spaceman. At least, so
like, honestly, I'm reasonably sure, if not for the fact that he's in that last scene where you can, like, where he's chasing him through the warp area, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I'm reasonably sure you can cut all the parts of him out of the movie, and it's still pretty good.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You can cut his parts out completely. But I love the end because Cillian Murphy gets to touch the sun, because physics.
Uh-huh. Because physics.
Because physics. That's right.
True. Sunshine was surprisingly good. Milan originally described it as the sci-fi movie. I'm like, oh, it's a sci-fi movie? Shit. Like, I thought it was Sci-Fi Channel. I was like, God,
no.
That would have been the worst thing ever.
Ironically, it's like, a sci-fi movie. This is gonna be so unscientific. Like, that's how bad they are
They're
now.
just gonna be a giant lizard on the ship that's gonna look completely unrealistic in every sense.
And it's gonna be fighting a giant shark.
Exactly.
That's gonna be part
called
octopus.
Space Megalodon versus giant snake. The hipsters will talk about it sarcastically or ironically.
Don't get me wrong, I can enjoy watching a bad Sci-Fi Channel movie, but,
Yeah.
I don't like having to watch one.
Yep. Yep.
Like, fun. We challenged each other to Bad Movie Month, but not yet.
Nah. But, look. Sunshine is a great film. Give us a chance. Give it a chance. It's really good. Actually,
Yeah, I think it's good. I think that when you watch it, you're not going to be struggling through it. Even if you have thoughts when the naked guy, when the naked space,
the naked burnt guy.
The way the credibility that the movie's built up until that point, you'll let it go. You'll understand that he's just a metaphor for the human element. That when you're doing something like that, people can go fucking crazy. There's no escape from that ship. That is like your only lifeline. There are many things that can go wrong. People are one of them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just I call it a beautiful movie because again, the scenery, the little things that they would.
Oh, the CG is amazing, and the way they designed the ship is really cool.
And that creepy thing they did with the flashlight.
What flashlight? What do you mean?
First went on the second ship. Or I guess the first one, the Icarus 1.
Oh, you mean when like the flashlight goes across the camera and the little pictures come up for
yeah.
That's something they wouldn't allow in a lot of mainstream Hollywood movies. They wouldn't allow it just because it's too different, I think. I liked it. It got across a point.
Yeah. I thought it was... Personally, I thought it was like... because I downloaded this movie off like Kick-Ass Torrents or something. I'll buy the fucking DVD now. But like, I thought like, did somebody fucking? I tried to slow the images down just because I thought somebody basically edited in porn images in this film. I was like, what the fuck? What was that? It was too quick. I'm like, is this? What the fuck is this? What am I looking at? Is that like a man's face doing something?
Yeah. Oh, let me just say this much though. There's two things I want to talk about before we move on from Sunshine. And you guys don't have to comment on this. I just gotta bring it up. Who has the balls at NASA to call a ship that you're sending to the sun Icarus? Not once, but twice.
I know, after it already failed once. That's like, you know what? Fuck it, Titanic 2. Suck it, fate. What? It didn't come back? Oh, shit.
like, dude, who the fuck is naming these things? And it's just like Death's just like the Grim Reaper's just chilling. It's like, yo.
It's like, is that guy on payroll? Can you all see him? Am I the only one who can see him?
That one just cried out. Like, as soon as they said it was called Icarus 2, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Who's dumb enough to do that?
Who's dumb enough to be on the Icarus 2? Like, that's bad on so many levels. It's like, what, the Icarus 2? What
is wrong with you? Like, at least call... God, what's the guy's name? I'm gonna look that up. I gotta find this out. Icarus... Dad. Icarus's dad. Daedalus. I think that's his name. Hold on. Yeah, Daedalus or whatever. That's his
Daedalus.
father. At least call him that, because the wings worked. It was just Icarus's little bitch ass had to be like, oh, I'm flying. I gotta get closer to the sun. Why would you? Dude.
Your father literally said, don't get close to the sun. Your wings will melt, and you will die. The motherfucker didn't listen. Motherfucker didn't listen. Fuck him. I mean, it's like, you can't protect the retarded for too long. Like, he wasn't retarded, it was just dumb human thing. Dumb person. Hubris. It's not hubris.
It was about hubris.
It's not hubris. It's not hubris. It's
the
dumb.
moral of the story
is dumb motherfuckery. The moral of the story is dumb motherfuckery, and dumb motherfuckery will be punished.
Fair enough. No, that one just cracks me up. He's just like, I'm flying, I'm getting close to the sun. It's like, dude, why would you name a ship after that kid?
Yeah.
It's just, that's a ballsy move. But the other thing, this is just something else I liked that I wanted to mention. I really thought it was cool that the last shot of the movie is in Sydney and it's just winter wonderland. And the sun comes up and gets really bright again. I thought that was cool.
I love that whole... They used it for the trailer, too, his letter to the human race. I thought that was beautiful. You know, his video, like that. To me, that is a big part of the movie. It's like, but if... I don't know. How about this?
Is because
if you're thinking of watching the movie, watch the trailer. Normally, we couldn't... The trailer can't spoil it any more than we have for you.
The thing about that, it's awesome because it's the whole winter wonderland part. It's in Sydney, Australia.
I just said that.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you? Okay.
That's what he was saying. It's in Sydney and it's a winter wonderland. We get what's happening. You get scale, you know, by only showing Earth. That way you don't break the claustrophobic feeling.
Yeah.
You know, they're already dead at that point. You know,
Yeah. I did like that one. It was a good touch. But yeah, Sunshine, I mean, I think you two enjoyed it more than I did. But it was still okay. It's just, God, the naked man ruins that movie for me. Not ruins, it really brings the movie down, like, big time for me.
Yeah.
It's not something I can look past because it's a major part of the plot.
Yeah, no, I understand. One, the amount of years I didn't know. So that it probably would have bothered me more if I'd have known it was 7 years. Like that. That's kind of hard to believe. But what the fuck was I gonna say? I think they sort of got me a little ready for it when they were doing the flashlight thing and it was showing images of the crew. It implied to me that symbolism. Basically, symbolism will be used in this movie is what that shouted to me.
And instead, it's a naked burnt man.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I took him as symbolism for, holy shit, this guy is crazy. It showed the absolute worst thing that could happen. Really, that's like the worst thing that can happen to you on a ship. It's one of your crewmates can be absolute insane. Like, he can go completely insane. Not just like, we're going to have to relieve you from your duty, but it's too late to relieve him from his duty because he's crazy enough to know you were going to do that. And now he's killed half of you and he's eating his own poop. You know, like, and you can't do
that. That was really the nice touch to add on there, Alec. Thank you. Because I didn't quite have enough of a mental picture yet until you said that.
Yeah, I mean, the naked sunburned guy. Yeah. His own poop.
Because it's funny.
Anyway, so yeah, Sunshine, I enjoyed it though. All right, what do we want to talk about next?
Aliens? No, let's talk about Event Horizon, and we can save Aliens or Alien, whatever we choose to talk about, till last.
Okay.
Why don't we just talk about the Alien franchise when we talk about it? Because
yeah, sure.
Just close your mind and pretend you don't know what happened after and before in those movies. It's like
the original 3 Alien movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, no, let's go ahead and talk about Event Horizon. I was very disappointed that there were no velociraptors in this movie.
What?
The main or the guy that goes crazy in Event Horizon is the guy that played basically the main character in Jurassic Park. The dude that was talking about velociraptors.
Okay.
Sorry. I made that joke I thought of that joke while I was watching the movie, and I was gonna have Bill here, and I was gonna tell it, and Bill would not be able to stop laughing for at least 3 hours. So that was my plan to fill up time on this episode, but no.
So everyone laughed awkwardly. Yeah, heads up to, I guess, everyone watching. I haven't seen Event Horizon since literally it came out. I think I actually saw that in movies, and I haven't seen it since. So, you could...
That's fine. I enjoyed it. One thing I noticed, Lawrence Fishburne does not age well at all. Because it came out in 97, and man, that dude looks at least 30 years older.
Got some city miles on him.
Yeah, I mean, you see Man of Steel and then you see Event Horizon, and you tell me, you know, how well he ages. I mean, shit, even in Matrix he looked significantly older.
Yeah, he did.
So, yeah, Lawrence Fishburne does not age very well.
Also, I guess black doesn't crack. I guess it does crack. Sorry.
Yeah,
that joke. I know. I'm sorry. That joke fell through. It was a terrible joke, but it fell through.
Well, I think you need to issue a public statement apologizing for that joke.
No, never.
Well, then there will be scandal and stuff. Anyway.
Anyway.
No, just that, and the other thing I noticed about the movie is, God, they loved their CG, and they really shouldn't have. It is horribly overused.
Really?
Shit that doesn't... Yes, oh my God. In the very opening shots, you have all these random items that are floating around, and those are all CG. And then when they're walking through the ship for the first time, they pass through this liquid coolant, and that's terribly obvious CG. And then the gate of the ship is CG looking. I'm like, oh my God, guys, we get it. You like your CG. That's fine, but tone it down.
Personally, I really like the beginning, like floating scissors and all that stuff. That was like, oh, that's CG. The rest of the movie, I just completely couldn't see it anymore. I just completely zoned it out. I was so engrossed by the world and the story. And yes, this movie borrows a lot from Aliens, but we'll get to that later. But
actually, I think it borrows more from Kubrick.
Kubrick.
Yeah,
Stanley Kubrick. Space Odyssey.
Yeah, the scene in Space Odyssey when the guy's shutting down HAL 9000. Is it 9,000 or 3,000?
9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when the guy's shutting down HAL 9000 and like floating through the circuitry, they borrowed that scene when the main character, or the main villain, I guess, was crawling.
Personally, I
and
think,
then
guys,
there was even something exploding and blood just gushing out of it, right out of The Shining. They really borrowed a lot from Kubrick's style.
Personally, I think that Sunshine. I think the Sunshine really borrowed a lot from 2001: A Space Odyssey, and
story-wise, I'm talking about visually.
Well, visually as well, but well, maybe a Tree of Life, space and stuff. But
okay, then Star Wars borrowed from 2000.
I think what Milan is trying to say is the silent wonder of space.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I see what you're saying, Milan, but I think Event Horizon did it a little more, and only because that sort of silent wonder can also be scary, and they also were showing off a lot of their CG, so they did a lot of shots where you see the ship silently from the outside. I get what you're saying. I watched the trailer while you were talking, and I do remember they did a lot of that CG because they wanted to show off the CG and they were trying to create an atmosphere. And
well, like what killed me is they did the floating objects in the beginning shot, and they brought it back again about, I think, 20-30 minutes into the movie. And the thing is, the stuff they're showing floating is exactly like that shot from 2001 where the pen's floating. And I'm like, you don't need to use CG for that, because guess what? Kubrick didn't have CG.
Yeah, he used freaking pen.
Yeah, it looked really bad in the modern context, and I think they overused it to the point that they didn't need to at all. And some of the stuff just, like, it just looks really outdated. But more so than that, just, there's that scene where they're in the, passenger area of the ship, excuse me, and it starts to, fill with blood. And then, like, the center console just fills with blood and bursts, and, like, the girl gets, thrown down a, like, ladder shaft by just a river of blood. I'm like, that's straight out of Shining. It's just, it borrowed a lot visually, to the point where it's like, straight up, remember this scene in 2001: A Space Odyssey? Well, here's a less good movie with that exact same thing.
Yep, I personally, like, I like the movie, but it's just because it was a fun horror movie. It was a fun, quasi-intelligent horror movie in space. But, like, I really want to hear Bill's perspective on this, because he's keep muttering on about the Dead Space games, and he said and apparently this movie and Aliens and Sunshine really did inspire the Dead Space, at least the look of the film and the feel of it.
Sunshine inspired. Well, I haven't played the Dead Space game, so.
Anyway, but like, Sunshine. A little bit of Sunshine in there, but that's why I really want to get Dead Space and play it, because of these three movies. Like, spooky, because...
This definitely. In fact, yeah, I don't even have to say. Definitely Dead Space took from this movie.
But also... Yeah, the feeling. And a bit of a look. But, funny enough...
Hold on, let me ask you this. Do you know how well this movie did critically when it came out?
No clue.
I'm willing to bet it probably did really well critically, but I don't think it holds up very well at all.
Not at all. I personally have very low standards.
Like, I was watching this, and, like, the CG was distracting, whatever. I got past that by about 20 minutes in. Just the story kind of goes all over the place, and it's trying really hard to establish things it doesn't need to. I don't know, I felt it was kind of awkward to have the ship be alive and also make someone else its, hand with which to kill the rest of the crew. I just thought that was kind of silly.
Yes, but the thing with that is, I like the fact that the ship was alive, but it's funny because the Jurassic Park dude, I forget his name, I love the fact when they discover what happened to the crew. Because that was one of the most genuinely frightening moments. They're all...
Oh yeah, seeing a bunch of people eat each other, that'll always fuck with you.
You know, you don't see exactly what... It's just flashes of just brief them naked and killing in some weird death orgy. And guy ripped out his own eyes, like, screaming something in Latin, beware ye who enter here, beware of hell, or whatever, something. And it's just like, that is spooky, scary things are happening. And then when... what's his name? The guy who was in Jurassic Park rips out his eyes and becomes all creepy man. That was cool. But then when he dies, spoiler alert, and comes back, the ship brings him back. It's like, why does he have his eyes still? Like, he's naked and bald, and he's like covered in weird, scars that look like they're from some sort of grimoire. Like he's covered in cuts that look like symbols from some dark, Necronomicon text-like thing.
We'll just call him Alan Grant. We'll just say that Alan Grant, got himself cryogenically frozen to get past the events of Jurassic Park, and then invented a space drive.
Yeah. But his eyes are back when the ship brings him back. I think he looks more creepy without his eyes. It's just this naked, carved-up man with no eyes. Like, why do you have eyes? No eyes. Don't have eyes, Mr. Scary Man.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay. I agree. I thought that was kind of a sad loss of the aesthetic. I'm willing to bet that Alan Grant just didn't want to go through the makeup process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn you, Alan Grant.
Though, to be fair, to put on all those scars would probably take just as long.
So, stupid question, but the plot was that they used their black hole machine and it took them to hell? Is that what happened?
It took them to another universe that was nothing but pure chaos, and it returned the ship alive.
Oh, the ship. wasn't alive before and it was alive.
Yeah, it was just a ship before, and then it goes to the other universe and comes back as a sentient entity.
Okay.
Yep. And that's kind of creepy. Like, where the fuck did it go? The whole mystery element really kind of creeped me out. It's like, what the fuck have you been? And I love the visual of the spinning, black hole drive. It's like, oh.
I really didn't like that that area of the ship, the quote-unquote engine room, did not look like it was built as part of the rest of the ship. That really bugged me.
Personally, I think it did. It looked kind of weirdly fitted in with the ship.
No, it looked like stone. It looked like it was carved. It looked like a Mayan spaceship.
Oh, you're talking about that spinning whirly thing in the middle, and then the room with like spikes and shit.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, who the fuck makes a room with spikes on a spaceship?
Yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
It is
just like
science-y. Science-y
No,
explanation. It's science.
Science! They were science spikes used for science.
Exactly, that's how it is. It's just science. Science explains it all, but not to us.
No, that one just bugged me. It was like it looked like it did not belong in that ship at all. It looked like carved stone, and the thing that made it excessively awkward was that he rips off one of the stone panels that look like they weigh, 5 tons, and then there's this, like, circuit hallway inside of it. And it's just like, it doesn't fit at all. One room looks organic, the rest of the ship looks mechanical. I don't know, I did not care
No, I get what you're saying. The aesthetic didn't match. It would be like 1 minute you're in a Star Trek ship, and then you go down a hallway, and suddenly it's like Alien,
Yeah.
the Alien ship. It's like, the fuck? What?
Exactly. It didn't really fit.
I don't want to know how depressed the guy was who designed this hallway. I'm going to go back down the other hallway. I don't trust the guy who designed this hallway.
It's like the architect that was designing the ship, he's just, having a good day, and then, like, his wife just walks in the rooms like, I'm leaving you because you always focus on your work. And then he's just like, he's really sad and thinking, and he's just sketching without looking at the paper, and that's how he designs that hallway.
Yeah.
And then he, like, comes back to his senses and just designs the rest of the ship in the same way. But then the contractors are like, alright, this is a weird fucking hallway, but we'll build it.
Science and all. Belongs that contractor, by the way.
Like, this is a really weird fucking hallway, but whatever, I mean...
Oh, I forgot to mention this. The naked bird guy in Sunshine, he was Russian.
Was he really?
He was.
That's kind of awesome.
I get a slight idiotic tinge of patriotic pride for some reason. I don't know why.
Because your people doomed the first mission to the sun?
Yes.
And almost the second?
Yes. We were the first and we shall be the last, bitches.
I don't know, I still always found it funny that the Russians only ever really sent out one space probe, and it landed on Venus, and it was dead within like 2 hours. That just always cracked me up. Russia was just like, oh, this is sad. And then, like, we will not fuck with this shit again.
Yeah. We first man in the sky, first man in the space, last species standing, baby. But like, reigniting the sun just seems like such a wonderful idea. But even
not working anymore.
Well, yeah, it's a fanciful idea. It's really great.
Well, like, wouldn't it just be easier to go live underground?
Why? No.
Like, just devolve.
Why not?
Because
people.
There's no energy coming into anything. You no longer have any energy feeding. Then the religious apologist will be right. At that point...
No, wait, hold on. I'm trying to figure out what, like... I know they've talked about if the sun begins to die and, like, pushes the planet out or whatever, we could survive underground.
I'm
just trying to think, because, like, the ore and stuff, that would still work.
Guys, I have a proposition for a movie. This giant, dead planetoid floating through space. People land on it, and they think they're abandoned, but it's actually a Earth-sized planet. It just exploded from a dead solar system, and on the inside, there are scary mole people. But it's us in the future! Dun dun dun!
No, I mean, I'm just trying to think about this, because, like, it seems reasonably plausible, because, I mean, wouldn't the core and all that shit still work? I mean, that's all based on pressure. Has nothing to do with the sun's gravitational pull. So, the inner parts of the planet would still be reasonably warm.
I wasn't really paying attention to anything you were saying. No, we can't survive if the sun dies.
Well,
you gotta have energy coming into the planet,
No, but the core doesn't require, like, trees would be fucked. Plant life is gone.
Then how do we have oxygen?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking about that one. UV lights, bitch. Bam. No, UV lights. Growing plants underground. And this is the part where all the guys in their rooms that grow marijuana in the closet are like, I'm gonna save the world. No, but if you go underground and you grow plants underground with UV lights and giant greenhouses, the core is gonna maintain a reasonable level of heat. I mean, there won't be any bikini weather, but I don't know, it's reasonably plausible. Assuming the sun doesn't consume the earth as it goes.
Oh, good. It's supposed to... I mean, it depends on how the sun dies, but if it can no longer maintain what it has to maintain, it'll either supernova or it'll do the thing where it expands and consumes the closest 5 planets. And
yeah, I agree. That's the
us.
problem with it, is how do we get it to the point where, like, that's the real problem with sunshine, I suppose, is, like, how is the sun dying but not expanding to consume the earth?
It's supposed to have been before that point. That is to say, the suns don't...
Guys, I just realized the answer to all our problems with sunshine.
What?
Magic. It was Thor.
Come on.
No, it was Thor. It's all like the Asgardians fucking with us. It basically, the world of sunshine, the universe of sunshine, is in the Marvel universe. And it's so magic. Everything is explained. Magic. Magic is science, Alec. Did you know that?
Shut up.
That was my problem with Thor. No, just science.
No,
what
that
you
was the
call
best
magic and
part
science,
of Thor.
two different things.
No,
you call magic and science two different things, but where I come from, they are one and the same.
No.
That doesn't explain everything. God damn it!
No, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Basically, that's the only thing that made Thor tolerable for me. I like Thor, but I don't like magic, so...
You don't like magic?
Okay. Basically, it's hard for me to take it seriously, to take, like, Iron Man seriously when he's in the same thing. Like, that was the problem with well, I guess not for you guys, but that always had trouble. I had always had trouble tolerating that. It would be like if I was watching, like, Dexter, and then fucking, I don't know, one of the dudes from Supernatural comes in, and he's all, like, magic. It's like, I don't know. Either Iron Man... I don't...
No, that's a problem a lot of people have had, and that's just the thing that drives me crazy about Thor, is they say, well, where I come from, magic and science are one and the same.
Well,
and, like, that works...
was that...
That worked for the Rainbow Bridge. It was really a wormhole generator. Okay, that's cool. Now please explain how the fuck you have a hammer that's made out of dwarf star material and you're able to pick it up.
Magic.
I thought they were saying that the technology is so mind-bogglingly, like, millions and millions of years.
Yeah, that's what they are saying.
To the point that even they have trouble understanding it because they are not quite the original creators. They can modify
That is what they're saying. and I still have a problem with that because they don't even try to explain it.
Well, I mean,
They just say that.
it's Thor. It's like, come on. Like,
well, no, but that's the whole point. Is if you're gonna do it, then go all the way, or just don't bother.
Well, if they don't bother, then it's just like a bunch of fairy tale magic bullcrap, which is fine in a Thor movie on its own, but I'm sorry, that's not fine in an Avengers movie. I don't want to see fairy tale magic bullcrap next to fucking Iron Man. At that point, I can't take either of them seriously. It's like in Soul Calibur, like even when there is magic in it, like in Soul Calibur 4, they had Star Wars characters in it, and that was fine. But then they said, and we're going to make it fit the story in both ways. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, you're not. There's no Soul Calibur characters in Star Wars, and Yoda is not in Soul Calibur. Oh my god. Look, I don't care if you have like a, look, if I'm playing Mortal Kombat and you snuck like, as like a secret character, you made a deal with Capcom and frickin' Ryu's in there, that's fine. Actually, I don't even care if you mix the story of those because they're fighting each other, they're not real stories. But, like, Soul Calibur actually had a story, and so did frickin' Star Wars. And no, you cannot have Earth and samurai and shit in Star Wars. Unfrickin' acceptable. But you can't undo that in the Avengers, because they already, like, that was done like 60 years ago. But then you made serious versions of the movies. You made modern...
Well, no, like, honestly, you don't even need to do it in Thor. If in Avengers, Tony Stark had looked at Thor's hammer and tried to, like, give a reason for why he's able to pick it up and how it works, that would have been awesome, but they didn't even bother. They're like, no, we're not going to even mess with that because we know that we're not that good of writers.
I mean, I think there's another problem of, remember what they had to do in the Avengers movie. You had four different characters, and you had a limited amount of time.
Alec, Milan's trying to subtly get us to stop talking about this.
Yeah, motherfuckers do the thing that we gotta do.
Okay, let's go ahead and go on to any... Like, I really didn't like Event Horizon. I think that's a movie that did not age very well. Any thoughts on it?
I liked it. It was a creepy little film. Managed to spook me in some places. Like the visual style.
Oh yeah, I got a couple jump scares.
As a horror film, it was, and I'm trying to go by what happened forever ago. I didn't enjoy it that much. What was it, like 16 or 13 years ago? But
you're old.
1997.
1997, because it looked like a sci-fi movie, and that's how I went into it. And then they're like, oh, and they went to hell, and that doesn't really make sense. Okay, I get that it's a place of chaos, but a place of chaos, once they went there, they would just vaporize into nothing, because you have the order of their atoms and stuff sticking together and making sense. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have the consistency of, you know, their matter and them breathing and stuff.
Well, no, they basically just said it was, they went to another universe where they all went insane, is what they're really trying to get at. They call it a universe of pure chaos to make it sound more poetic.
Oh, okay. I thought they meant, I thought it, I don't know. I didn't understand. Basically, they went to hell or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's the general consensus. Is they went to another universe that just makes it feel like hell.
Oh, so as a horror movie, that's not bad. It's enjoyable as a sci-fi movie. So if you go into it knowing it's a horror movie, then you might enjoy it. If you go
that actually would have been much more interesting if they just went to another universe or if they just accidentally went to a literal hell. If they just gone that far with it.
Well, I thought that's where what they were hinting at.
Yeah, they kind of were, but they kind of backed off it a little bit.
Yeah, a literal hell.
Well,
what would a literal hell even look like? It might look like that. Like a literal hell. Are they gonna have like ogres and stuff? Like poking you with pitchforks? Like that.
Yeah,
that's it.
I thought it was an interesting idea, though, to basically take the concept of The Shining and make it happen out in space.
I don't know,
because that's pretty much exactly what's happening.
Hell, there was no. You mentioned The Shining,
Yeah,
and I get like a few visual things, but
No, but Alec, The Shining was a hotel that made the people who were staying in it, when there weren't a ton of guests, go insane. And this is a ship that's become sentient and is making the people that are staying in it go crazy. Like, it's
by
giving...
those definitions, every single haunted house movie is... Because, like, there's more than one haunted house movie that make, like, what's it called? The Amityville Horror. The people in there end up going crazy like the original people.
Yeah, but it's the fact that they go so far as to directly reference Kubrick.
Yeah.
Like, with shout-out shots, that makes me say it's The Shining in space.
Yeah.
I guess I can see that. I guess there are key elements that make me have trouble getting the parallel. Like, the ship became that, and in very short order that happened. Whereas in The Shining, it was a place that was there for a while. Like a sort of, not Resident Evil as in the game, but Resident Evil as in a place you avoid because it's inherently evil. Whereas,
yeah.
I thought they were, I thought, basically to me, the best part of the movie is, let's say we go to another universe, or that is what warp could actually do. I don't think that could actually happen. What I'm saying is, they definitely showed a possibility I never thought of. What if these alternate dimensions that human beings say they see actually happen to be the ones most closely pressed up against us, so that if we ever do warp, we go straight to those ones everyone's talking about. You know what I mean? That's what it made me think of. It made me imagine that the reason people see hell is because that is the universe most pressly. That is the next one, basically. The one most closely pressed up against ours. A psychotic, just a psychotic one that doesn't even really have form in the same way. It's just pain and chaos. And if we warp, that's right next door. So it bleeds into ours sometimes. And that's why we have visions of hell. Like, I thought that's sort of what they were
wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be similar to heaven? Because people see heaven and hell, so they're like, "Hey, we're going to hell." What if the movie kind of went in a whole different direction? And it's like they all come back and they land on the ship, and everyone's like, "Yo, dude, we've seen like angels and shit."
And then, like, the guy from Sunshine's just like, son of a bitch!
Let's go back. I think it would work if they just go back. And then the movie would end.
No, they go back and like, oh crap, we're in the wrong place.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Then they go to hell. It's like, oh.
It's like, man, this is really a, very drastic kind of decision. I mean, you either go straight to one. I mean, it's kind of high stakes right there.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked the film. I liked it. I liked the film quite a lot. It was a great little flick.
I think it's a more interesting idea than what they were able to execute, and I think the CGI dates it too much.
Yeah, but I like more.
The concept is really good, but the execution is not as well as it should have been for the budget that it had.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it wastes all its budget on CG that looks bad, 15 years later.
I liked Morpheus being the whole, I'm a confident and, completely in control black officer. That's neat.
Okay. I think Milan just likes black people.
Yeah,
I do. I genuinely do. I love black people. But it's funny because is Morpheus Samoan?
I have no idea.
Because he looks like in Event Horizon, he looks Samoan. He looks like some of the kids I went to school with.
Okay.
Yeah, yay, Morpheus is Samoan. A positive role model for the Samoan youth. Hooray. I don't know. I'm just saying shit because
that's all you do on this show.
That's all I do. That is my purpose in life, is to spout stuff.
That makes no sense.
Do I?
But okay.
Yeah, dude. I don't make sense. That is the most obvious thing ever. Does anything I ever say make sense?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. But, look. Event Horizon, do you want to say anything more about Event Horizon, or are we done?
I'm good. I'm all out. How about you, Milan? Anything? Or Alec, anything?
Nah.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, then. Let's go ahead and move on to just the Aliens movies. And I just want to say, I haven't seen anything except the first one in years, so we'll just try to talk about them in general.
I like them.
Yeah, me too.
No, the Alien movies to me defined, like, can you even think of a lot of, okay, now there are a lot of space horror movies, but when Aliens came out, that's like, it seems like horror movies didn't have the budget they needed to make a movie like Alien. You know what I mean? Because
Alien was genuinely the cornerstone, the bedrock of horror space opera type of movies. And yes, there's never like Horizon and Sunshine. Horror movies in space aren't always really bad, only if they're like sci-fi level films. But with that is, I really genuinely love the Aliens life cycle, because Aliens is one of those films...
It rapes its way into you, then it rapes its way out of you, and then it rapes you while it kills you.
No, not really.
God, I just realized that every action it performs is... it's just...
Well, guys, that's true, but the thing is, you know that second mouth thing?
It's a giant black man's penis running around.
Can't say that. You can't say that.
It's a giant...
Dude, look at the alien's head one more time and tell me it doesn't look like a giant penis.
I mean, there's a lot... There's a lot of sexual imagery with the Aliens movie. Like, a lot of it... Even, God, my brain... Ridley Scott? Who did the art for it? Was it Ridley... No.
Sid Mead.
Yeah, he said that...
Geiger. It was
female...
Geiger.
Oh,
female
Sid
anatomy
Mead
was...
The ships and aliens.
Yeah, the ships and aliens, the walls and stuff, after the aliens got through with it, a lot of that was based in female anatomy, like up close, and like different aspects. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just think it's so weird that Alien was very intentionally made to look like a giant penis, and Predator unintentionally looks like a vagina face.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's true. But the thing is, yes, the xenomorph, the alien, is essentially a rapist in space that looks like a giant black man's penis. But it's funny because it's a giant bug that has a giant black man's penis for a head that rapes you. But God damn it! But basically, that's the thing. It's really the life cycle of the alien. It is quite. It's so brutal. It is vile and it is brutal because, and essentially, I've heard tell that the second mouth thing. It doesn't eat you. It doesn't need to eat. It just. I think generally the reason it goes for the head with that second mouth thing, it basically. I think it's trying to. What's the right word I'm looking for? Lobotomize its victims, and just kind of stick it to the wall. So the victim is still alive, but is alive long enough to to gestate the second alien, impregnate. Yeah. And that's the thing. I like the complex and very detailed creature they've designed, and the world that they've designed in the Alien franchise. At least the first two movies, and arguably the third one. But that's meh. But that's the thing. This is the movie franchise that everybody knows about. Aliens has basically infected the culture to the point where the very first time I saw a reference to the Alien movie is it was the two little chipmunks. It was a Disney cartoon, Rescue Rangers, I think it was. Basically, they were watching a cartoon that basically was a Disneyfied spoof of aliens. And I'm like, what is this thing? There is a mouth coming out of a mouth coming out of a mouth. What is this hideous Disney thing? And then, like, I saw the Aliens movies, like, oh, it's the giant black man's penis, I understand.
Oh my god, stop saying that.
I'm
Stop
sorry.
saying black man's penis.
Black man's penis.
Black man's penis, black man's penis, black man's penis,
Okay,
black man's penis.
You're getting me hard, stop it.
Oh, wow, I didn't need to know that.
Yeah, that's right, that shut you up, bitch, that's right, motherfucker. But, basically, yeah, the character of Ripley, it's fascinating that, like, most producers say, oh, we can't write female characters, we can't have movies with female leading heroes, it's boring, nobody will want to go to see it. And these movies done back in the 70s and 80s, I don't know when the first movie was done, I think early...
79.
79. And so, like, this was a well-developed, well-written, essentially asexually written female character. Well, she was written asexual, so it could have been a man or a woman. And it was just a really, it turned into this giant battle of, dominant motherhood in the second movie. But it's just like, this is a really well-developed female character in a really well-developed, really terrifying and brutal world. And they fucked it up in the third one. I mean, well, the thing is, people don't like the third movie because it kind of, the first scene of, spoiler alert, Newt dies. It's basically, in the second movie, we go through this giant arc of just trying to escape from the alien queen, and Newt is rescued, and it seems like it's going to be a happy ending. And before the third movie came out, the story was, expanded on in the Dark Horse Aliens comics, and I really want to check those out. But basically, when the third movie came out, the very first scenes is basically this really incredibly graphic, autopsy on Newt, the little girl that Ripley saved in the first film, and it's just basically spitting in the eyes of the people who made these emotional connections with these characters, with Hicks and Newt. And all you have is Ripley, and some would argue that the whole film is basically, the whole Aliens franchise is the aliens as a species taking everything away from Ripley and basically stripping her away little by little and taking anything she loves and corrupting and killing it. And they don't even realize what they're doing because they're fucking animals. And so, in a weird way, Alien 3 is kind of the, for the pessimist and the person who likes the darker stuff and the less optimistic type of sequels, I mean, Alien 3 is just, it's pretty fucking dark, and there is no light at the end of the tunnel but a bittersweet release from the pain, which can only be found in oblivion.
My problem with Aliens 3 is the same problem I had with Aliens 4, except in Alien 4, they didn't try to hide it at that point because, it came out while we're in the age of fuck it, we all suck ass, so let's just milk this thing for all she's worth, basically. At least back around when Aliens 3 came out, there was still a little bit of pretending that you're not going to milk a franchise until there's nothing left. There was a little bit less cynicism about it.
Yeah.
But basically, it's like, leave Ripley alone. Stop being pussies and come up. If you're going to have another Alien movie, that's how I felt about 3. It's like, have another character. Ripley is great and all, but basically they did what a lot of movie people don't understand. They get in love with the formula rather than the story. Like, I'm not gonna change the subject to Men in Black, but I'm just gonna use it as an example. Ghostbusters. How in the second movie they lost everything. Somehow everyone just forgot ghosts were there and that these guys saved their lives. And so they're poor and they have to start from nothing. I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm saying it did the classic getting in love with the formula thing. Like, rather than let's come up with a new thing, they're like, no, let's do the same thing we did in the first one. Show them building up from nothing, except this time they're returning to glory. And then they did it in Men in Black. they did the whole story arc and character arc with the two agents. You know, one finally being his own agent in his own right, and the other being able to go back to normal life. And they're like, no, everyone. It's like everyone watched that movie for those two guys, right? Yeah. So yeah, let's erase everything we did in the last movie. Let's just make that other agent we just added, that woman, disappear, right? Rather than actually coming up with a good story to continue that. They did the same thing with Alien 3. It's like, Ripley should probably be able to live the rest of her life out now, right? She's paid her dues.
Status quo. We gotta make everything...
status quo. It's like, no, status quo, dude. And then they punch that guy in the dick for trying to think creatively, and they kick him out of the room, because that's what you do. And then, and it's like, no, yeah. It's like, well, do we change the...
I just have this image of, like, this board meeting where this guy's like, wait, maybe we should try exploring more characters in this... Oh! God! Punch me in my dick!
No, we're gonna stick to formula. We're gonna pump out the same Tide bullshit because we hate our audience. They're a bunch of fucking useless cunts. It's better to come out with a piss-poor, unoriginal sequel than to actually try to push for a better film and a better product. Because nobody...
Let me just say this. Please, everybody, never punch someone in the dick.
I gotta tell, man, I've been punched in the dick so many times. My little brother is a monster. He'll just do it because I'm like standing there. Hey, Mickey, want some ice cream? He's like, yes, I want some ice cream. Here's some ice cream, Mickey. Thank you. But why did you punch me in the dick?
Oh my god.
No. This is really funny because a couple weeks ago,
I'm kneeling on the ground. And he's standing over me, eating the ice cream that I gave him. And I cry, why did he hit me in the dick? And he's like, he just silently stares at me, licking his ice cream.
No, what's funny about this is a couple weeks ago, Alec, Milan, and I are on the phone, and Milan tells me that, no, my family, they're really nice people. Like, don't you fucking lie to me.
You can't be like that. It's like, bullshit!
Don't lie to my face like that.
And didn't I start laughing like a lunatic?
Yes, because you found it that amusing. Anyway, no, I agree. They did kind of redo the alien thing too much. If you guys don't mind, real quick, I actually really enjoyed the first Alien vs. Predators. I mean, I agree that it wasn't gory enough. But, how'd you guys feel about it?
I actually didn't mind, because at that point, they're admitting that they're campy. I don't see the problem with that. You know, I mean, like, it was campy, kind of campy in that, come on, it's from a comic book. I judge it the same way I judged comic book movies. It was Alien versus Predator. What did you think?
Well, yeah, but personally, the comics are a lot better than this movie. And better written, better looking, better fucking... I mean, it's just one of those things that you're just like, come on, man. If a fucking comic book can do it well, then, I mean, come on, man. It's when fucking still print can make you look like shit. I mean, at first I liked the movie a lot because it was like the sheer wonder of seeing Alien versus Predator, because those are my... It's pretty cool concept.
Well, I thought they did really well on the concept. The idea that, you know, predators had started off human civilization.
Yeah, the concept was great. That's straight from the comic. But the execution was a bit of a problem for me, because it was just like, guys, you could do so much more with this idea. And the thing is, it had the Hollywood cleanliness to it. It was too clean for me. Like, the Aliens and Predator franchise have this kind of history and this reputation of being dirty. Like, not like dirty is like violence or just the gritty.
What were they rated? I can't remember. Did they try to go for... Oh my god. Well, that's why. They did that because they wanted to make more money. Because, you know, fuck everyone else. They want to make their extra cent on people who are probably too young to be seeing that anyway.
Yeah, I have heard the complaint that it isn't gory enough. I think the second one is just a pile of garbage.
I've seen the second one, and I gotta say, that movie is just... I could not see what was going on. It was literally
it's way
so
too dark.
And dude, there was this one scene when the aliens kind of went to the hospital and in the pregnant ward where all the pregnant ladies were, and basically the half-breed alien predator thing basically injects like kisses essentially a pregnant woman, and then fucking little baby aliens burst out of its belly. I'm like, fuck you guys.
What?
Fuck you guys. Yeah, that's happened in that movie. I'm like fucking hell, you guys are fucking disgusting for no reason. They just did it.
That's the thing. The Predator alien looked so badass, and then they didn't show it at all because the whole movie's dark, and then it just turns into really just this like very cliche, teen horror movie monster kind of thing.
It's not even cliche. It just becomes slimy and just slimy and disgusting. Like you could see the fingerprints. It's like seeing like something you love being disgustingly assaulted by the fingers of despicable bastard producers.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. It's just gross. Like basically the alien is a rapist alien that literally rapes itself instead of out of people into people and bursts itself out. That is far more wholesome than the fucking producers in Hollywood. I gotta say, I would feel more clean on the inside if with that vagina thing face hugger on my face than to be in the presence of a producer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did not care for that one. No, I thought it was an interesting idea to actually bring them together, and I think the first movie, because it has a plot, works a lot better. And I mean, it's such a good teaser at the end too. You really had someplace to go.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Sorry, just one sec.
Is it taboo for me to bring up Prometheus?
Go right ahead.
Because I actually enjoyed that. I thought that was awesome. I
like Prometheus.
It actually answered a lot of the questions from the first Alien movie. And you saw Prometheus, right?
Of course I did. With Prometheus,
I did not.
Yeah,
oh,
for me,
shit. Gotta see Prometheus.
Yeah, it was a good film. I liked it.
If you saw the Alien vs. Predator movies, you should at least see Prometheus, only because, yeah, it's better than those. Well, basically, it's kind of about death. And I don't mean about death in the cheesy slasher. I mean, when people die, it actually means something in Prometheus, because it really is about death on a deep and profound level. Each character handles the concept of death differently. Basically, the idea is, you know the basic plot of it, right?
No, I've never had much of an interest in it. I mean, I might see it eventually if it comes on Netflix. I'll probably.
I mean, it's
watch
not like amazing, but I think it's a worthy. It's a worthy prequel to the first Alien movie, and I also think it also answered the question as to why the aliens look the way they do, because it does show a xenomorph near the end, and they
some
do,
good shit, basically.
Yeah,
it's
they
some
do.
Good shit.
They look more like whatever species they were born from. That is to say, their biology changes each time they're reborn from the same species to be better at doing that. Each time it's a little faster too, the gestation period, if it's the same species.
Yeah, they've explained that the aliens change shape, and that's what I liked about the Pred Alien. I mean, that design is so cool.
And also hints that the Predators, I want to tell you, but I don't want to reveal too much because it is actually.
I don't care. I really don't care.
Basically. Go ahead. You tell them.
It does sort of, and I don't really like the panspermia thing because it does kind of go against the sort of Darwinian evolution. But
that's the thing about Prometheus. Before you move on, like Christian Scientists always, like the Christian Scientist lady in the movie, she's like, no, honey, please don't, silliness, no. It's a little the Christian Scientist lady. She's like. She's like the builders I have no problem with. Panspermia is a fascinating idea, a little bit silly but still fascinating. But like she's like, when the guy, they kind of make evolutionists. They have this one like evolutionist kid. It's like, well, when she's explaining about panspermia and whatever, and the guy's like, evolution, like, oh my god, I have glasses and I talk like this, and she's like, well, yada yada yada. It's like Ridley
like,
Scott.
Oh, spare me, please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
and then it's just
like, spare me your hippie bullshit.
Yeah.
But I almost feel bad. I almost feel like that kid who's like, evolution, but it's like it does make you. It's like, no, you're like science. And she's like, not so much science.
and that's it's not the problem. It's not the problem with panspermia. It's just like. Well, yeah, he confronts her about it, and he says like, well, yeah, sure, maybe, we are these creatures, these aliens, basically gave us life, and basically gave us the created the gave us life basically. So what? Like that doesn't mean there's any God. And then she goes like, well, what created them? I'm like,
oh Jesus Christ, you did not. It's like, really? We're gonna have this conversation? You're a grump.
So anyway, about Predator.
Anyway, yeah, sorry. No, what I was saying about Prometheus is, it sort of answers a question as to what the xenomorphs are, and it really, if you actually know a little bit of the mythos, it hints that it actually might be more the predators that are the problem with the Prometheans. I'm just calling them that because they haven't given them a name, but because it seems like human beings may have been an experiment, and it's possible that there's sort of a. Remember the Star Trek with the Doomsday Machine, and you find out later that the Doomsday Machine was actually meant to destroy the Borg. The Planet Eater machine. Well, it's sort of like that. It's possible that the xenomorphs were made to destroy the predators, but clearly it doesn't work because they fucking just play with them. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible that that's what they were originally for, and that the Prometheans had some sort of grand experiment going on, and we're like ants to them, and that the predators are just sort of like messing their crap up, you know what I mean? And that there was it almost seemed like a little bit of desperation because it is way overkill what they were going to do to the human race. Like they were going to, like it actually, the xenomorphs actually start out just in jars. Like it literally starts from like the smallest part, like from one cell, and then that process of implanting and growing happens on a cellular level. It's just the smaller the animal is, obviously, the faster it is. So, and then it just sort of moves up the food chain to the next more powerful animal, more complicated animal, until it gets to the one that is actually the target, which in that particular ship was us. You get what I'm saying? It actually does explain more. I would recommend seeing it. If you like the Alien vs. Predators, it's a better movie than that, because it's not just about those sort of campiness. It actually raises philosophical questions. You know what I mean?
And that's fine. I like the Alien vs. Predator because, I mean, how could you possibly do that and not have it be at least kind of,
no, and I thought
fun,
the first movie was kind of awesome. I like that too.
But let's talk more about Aliens and kind of wrap up, because, I mean, Alien and Aliens were the ones that kind of started the whole spaceship horror genre, I suppose. And it's interesting that Milan picked these three movies because you kind of get to see the good and the kind of not so good that have come from that. Admittedly, Event Horizon is probably like the best of the bad things that have come from the Alien, what Alien has done to the space horror genre.
it essentially created the space horror genre.
Well, I mean, there's, I guarantee you I can find something
Yeah.
before it
Yeah,
that qualifies.
there
but
was.
yeah.
It's the first that did it really well.
Mhm.
I thought it was to me. Alien is. No, I'm not even gonna say that. But yeah, it definitely changed the landscape. Also, I always confuse terror and horror, the different types of fear. But if you look at it, it is a different type of scary than all the Alien movies before it were. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? If you look at the type of fear, it is different from the others.
Yeah.
Um,
Alright, so, Milan, final thoughts on Aliens?
Aliens is a really great, really well developed, terrifying, really fantastically well developed world, well developed monster, well developed mythos. Had a great opportunity to go to very interesting places. Sorta, kinda did. Sorta, kinda fucked it up. Read the comics. By the way, a little thing about the comics. In one of the comics, a face hugger gets on the face of some sort of dinosaur T-Rex-like creature, and when it bursts out and grows to full form, you get a T-Rex alien. So you got a prehistoric giant dinosaur black man's penis
oh my god.
that eats people.
That actually does sound
Okay.
awesome.
Alec, you're gonna be put on the spot here in a second, but we'll go to you last this time, so you have some time to think of it. So, I give Sunshine 3 solar shields out of 5. I give Event Horizon 2 floating CGI watches out of 5. And I give Alien, since that's the one I watched, 4.5 black man's penises out of 5. Milan?
I give Event Horizon 4.5. Morpheus is young Morpheus is with hair. For the aliens and Alien, 5 black man penises. And for Sunshine, 4 naked burnt guys.
Okay. Alec, now it's your turn. You have to come up with a different category for each one to rate it out on a 5 scale from each movie, and know that you will be judged for this.
And beaten if your answer isn't satisfactory.
Okay, I give Event Horizon... God, I haven't seen it in like 16 years. I give Event Horizon 2 of Alan Grant's removed from his head eyeballs out of 5. I give Sunshine 4 crispy crew members out of 5. Good, right? Because the
Yeah.
room where they was, yeah. And I give Aliens. Okay, I have to separate the two because I give Alien 1 4 face vagina fucking monsters out of 5, and I give Aliens 5. Do I have to come up with another one?
Yes.
Yep. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. I am Alex Trebek, and I need your answer right now.
Okay, I give that 5 precocious, annoying little girls that you, at the same time, hope survive out of 5.
Is that
It's a really elaborate rating system.
Yes.
That answer is... It's adequate. You will not be beaten. Congratulations.
So, everybody, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Geeky Gentlemen. Leave a comment saying which one of our ratings you liked the most, and whoever came up with it will get this week's prize. I don't know.
Since when did you start
Bill's-
doing that? When did we get prizes?
You don't. Well, you won't get a prize because your rating system sucked.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So Bill is absent this week, but I'm sure he'll be back next week. In any case, he's forfeiting his topic. So, what are we going to talk about next week? Milan, do you think we should get a hold of Bill and ask him, or do you think we should try to come up with something right now on the spot?
Let's try to come up with something right now. It'll be more fun.
Okay, Alec, you're more than welcome to pitch in on ideas for this. What's a good geeky discussion topic?
Butt sex?
It's harder for me to come up with one because, remember, you guys have done a whole bunch of them. Anything I come up with, you've probably done already.
We haven't done...
You know what I mean? Because you and Milan have been doing more of them than I wasn't here for most of them, so...
Yeah, that's fine. No, if you come up with some, just throw it out there. Alright, so Milan, we're not doing a video on butt sex.
Why?
That was going to be my idea.
Oh, see? We got two volunteers. Come on.
No.
Come on.
I am drawing the line on geeky gentleman discussions at butt sex.
Oh, come on. Don't be such a prude.
Milan, he said no butt sex.
Oh. Well, yeah.
I don't know, I've got one in my mind. Whether or not digital art is as valid as hand-drawn or handmade.
That's a little bit... It's... I don't think we can get a whole episode out of that.
True.
It is an interesting topic, though. I know so little about it.
Maybe a mini.
Yeah, I think we should do a mini on that one.
Yeah.
What about, like, I don't know...
I got it. Anal sex.
Oh my god, no. No.
Come on.
No
Come on.
butt sex.
It's completely different. It's not butt sex, it's anal sex. It's completely different.
Well, Milan, since you're so dead set on a video that focuses on human sexual anatomy, how about we broaden it out a little bit from butt sex, but you can mention butt sex all you want. Why don't we talk about gay characters in fiction?
Don't give him permission to mention butt sex all he wants. That's all we want to hear about that.
That is actually... That's a really progressive, really quite interesting topic. Kudos, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's actually kind of been on my mind with the whole situation going on with Batwoman. So yeah, we'll talk about gay characters. Not only in Batwoman, there's a new character in the Batwoman costume, and she's a lesbian, and there's this whole debacle because DC gave them permission to have her get engaged to another woman, but they will not give the writers permission to have her get married, so the writers walked.
That's so
it's been
stupid.
a really...
Plus,
it's been a really big issue lately. So, yeah, that should be a good topic to get into. But we won't just talk comics. We'll talk any medium, because it's something that's emerging. And funny enough, there's one statistic I'll mention before we finally wrap up the show here. Population-wise, taking all the television shows around and weighing that population of people, or taking that population as a representative of the actual population, there are a higher percentage of gay people on television than there are in real life.
really?
Yeah, I
Well,
think
that makes
that's...
sense. Because there's only 5% of the population admit to being gay.
Well, no, I just think it's one of those funny things is that there's like all these gay characters in television, but if you were to take all the shows on television as like every single person that's shown in those shows is the entire population of the country, and you look at the percentage of those people that are gay, it's actually a higher percentage of people. But anyway, let's leave the rest of this conversation for next week, and that should be a fun time. So everybody, thank you for listening, and until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
I'm the Madman.
And I'm the black guy.
And we are your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things. Alec, please take this out. Please take it. Please just say, "Damn, that shit is whack."
Damn, that shit is whack. Oh man, the thing is, I realize that you're right. I am the black guy in this group.